Hello, everybody. My name is Bobby, and I am a tarot card reader. I have 40 years of experience behind me. Not continuous reading professionally. I've been a hairstylist, a nail tech. I was in the beauty industry for 14 years, and I would read for my clients, my hair and nail clients. Look at Joey Zier, my best friend, actually. Joey the Veiled Cottage Witch. How you doing, boo boo? Yeah, I'm finally doing the class I've been talking about. Um, I am a retired hairstylist and nail tech, and now I am full-time tarot. I deal with clients from all around the world, which is awesome, but challenging at times too. When you have to book somebody in Australia and then you're booking somebody in London, it gets confusing. Um, but I'm getting better. I found out about putting widgets on my phone. So I'm basically just stalling for time until people start trickling in. I see Joan Miranda. How you doing? I have to say it like that, you guys. Um, for people who have never seen me or don't know who the heck I am a witch in service to Hecate and Hermes, and I am um, a Heyoka empath. I don't think that makes me much different from other empaths, except I feel things on a bigger scale. Um, empaths, that feeling you get walking into Walmart, it's like that sometimes. Oh, my sound is echoing. Thank you for reminding me about that. I did a new opening for this segment, and I did a recording, my voice going, "Don't be scared." But I forgot I had it there. Thank you. Thank you for reminding that. Um, yeah, I've been a witch for a very long time. I've been a tarot card reader for a very long time. I am a strong empath. It is my mission in life to make people laugh. I heal through laughter. And if I could make somebody giggle in their healing, that's what I'm all about. Let me put my phone on vibrate. Let me tell you what we're doing tonight. I've been wanting to teach classes on tarot online for quite a while. I was doing them locally, but it wasn't going well. There's a lot of competition here for tarot classes, so I wasn't really trying that hard. I wanted to teach Thoth tarot. Hi, Annie, how you doing? And um, there, you not many people get called to Thoth tarot right away, so it that is still up in the air. So I decided to take things digital. Now that my channel has the ability to do so, I'm going to start a members portion soon, where it will be basically school every week, learning the tarot, learning the different aspects of tarot, from astrology to Kabbalah, um, traditional meaning, Golden Dawn. Um, I've been wanting to do this for a long time. Um, yeah, Joey's so excited for me. She is my best friend, you guys. Ah, Jan, how you doing? I was just explaining what's happening tonight. Let me move my thing. So, this is a class tonight, and it's on a 22 card tarot spread. Uh-oh. Where are my notes? Hold on, everybody. There they are. Woof! You about to see Bobby lose his shit on air. I've been planning this for months. All right. So, tonight we are learning not only a 22 card spread, my dears, um, but we're going to be learning how to relate this 22 card spread with single words, meaning there will be a single word for each space that we're going to cover. And hopefully, this will work out the way I think it will. I've worked very hard on this, so I'm very excited. If you'd like to follow along at home with your own tarot deck, that's fine. I will be taking questions periodically. So if you have them, put them in caps for me so I take note. Let me check the chat. Hey, Crystal, there's my other sis, Miss Selena. You don't have tarot cards. That's okay, Maureen. This will teach you. You don't need tarot cards to play along at home. And of course, this is recorded, so you could all go back on playback and make your notes. Now, I'm not the teacher my dear friend Ramon is, but I've got some skills. So, the first space we're going to talk about is hold on. Come on, click on the little thing. There we go. The first space belongs to the Fool. This is the querent. If when I do my zodiac spreads, I start off with Aries. Aries is the beginning. The Fool is the beginning. He's new horizons, naivety, youth, innocence, purity. So whatever card you put on top of this is going to be meaningful. It's going to give you the direction that the rest of the reading is going to take. Now, the Major Arcana is split into 3 parts. We have the physical realm. This is harder to do with my tremors than I thought. The mental realm and the spiritual realm. So, this is going to come into play after we talk about the spaces in question. I put these in out of order, so let's find the right one. I have tremors at home, you guys who don't know. So using a mouse is challenging, but hold on. Let me check the chat real fast. Yeah, Joan Miranda, intuitive, welcome everybody. Bobby's having a little bit of a problem here with his hands. All right, we're going to have to do it out of order. Oh, there we go. Yeah, that's okay. I don't mind. Ah, there we go. Fuck. I scared myself. So, our first card is the Fool. The Fool is the beginning. No matter what card you put on top of this, that's going to give you the bones of the matter. So, say we put, let me grab my tarot deck here. Say we put the Hermit card on top of this space. This is the beginning. So we know that we're starting off with introspection. We're starting off this spread. Whoever we're reading for is looking inward for answers that they can't find outward. So The beginning of this tarot spread with the Hermit is introspection. You see where we're going with this. If you're thinking this looks like the Lenormand Grand Tableau, you are correct, my friend. So, what do we have next? We have the Magician. Now, the Magician is manifestation. If let's switch out a tarot card for one that's easier. I keep pulling majors. Okay, minor, finally. That's a good thing that I keep pulling Major Arcana cards. So I pulled the Four of Swords. If we have the Four of Swords in this place, what we're trying to manifest is peace of mind. So if you're reading for somebody else, what up, Aloe Crisp? If you're reading for somebody else, this would be manifestation. So having the Four of Swords there would be you're trying to manifest peace. If you had the Star card there, what you're trying to manifest is direction. You're trying to get hope. If it's the Seven of Pentacles, you're basically trying to manifest time. You're trying to find time for everything. Let's see. So for those watching, I'm not checking chat. So if you do have questions, put them in capitals so when I jump back and forth, I could see them. So our next space, the single word for this space is the subconscious. This is the High Priestess. So say we had the Empress here. What our subconscious is telling us is that we may be feeling the need to mother somebody. We may be feeling the need to create something. Our subconscious is leaning in this direction. If we have the Queen, so let's put a Queen into this space. If we have the Queen of Wands here, this is saying the subconscious need to protect and fight for somebody is there. The Queen of Wands is very fiery when she's riled up. So your subconscious is telling you that something ain't right, Joe. This is the space where that gets answered. So next up, we have the Empress. In the Empress's space, the key word for this is love. So remember, this is a tarot spread that I basically created or put meaning to on this. You can apply your own keywords in your own way. I've just done it like this as example, and because this is the way I read this 22 card spread. So in the space of love, if we have the Seven of Wands, there's defense going on in your love life. Maybe passions are running over. If we have let's pull another random one. I keep pulling wands. So the Knight of Wands. If we have the Knight of Wands here in the love spot, that could mean a new love is coming into your life. Knights are action cards. Hold on. Let me take a sip of my soda. Okay. So, in the space of love, this is saying the love life, basically. That is what this space is. Okay. Next up, we've got the Emperor, and his keyword is authority in this spread. So if we pulled the Justice card, that means that somebody's got to pay the piper. This could be a court date right here with authority. If we had the King of Cups, this could be a man that's entering your life, or a powerful love interest, but who will be very domineering. If we had the Five of Cups, which is dissatisfaction, right? So this could be a discontentment at work. You see where I'm going with this. This single word system is very important in this spread. Um, Going on to the next one, we have the Hierophant. So the single word for this is tradition. And we're going through these 22, but I'm also going to show you on the next one um, how to get a good 2 hours out of this one spread. Um, there are clients I only use one single spread for, and they will pay for 90 minutes. This is a very thorough one, and I'm going to show you why. Um, if we have in this spot, which is tradition, the Four of Wands, and this is probably a level of stability has been reached in your relationship. This could be a wedding. Um, the Four of Wands is a very stable card. It's the first stage of completion. So this could be work related, church related, but the key word here is tradition. Next up, the key word, one word, is partnerships. So, say you pulled the Justice card. If I had the partnerships space with the Justice card on it, the Justice card is about fairness, balance, and truth. So, this is honestly saying the person you're with can be trusted. If we had another card like the Knight of Swords, which is very gung ho, then this is saying that this is going to be a partnership that will be based on mental partnership as well as physical partnership. This is somebody you could talk to and get down within a conversation. Um, nope, nothing on chat. Okay, so next up, determination is the key word for the Chariot. When we see the Chariot, it is determination, control, and willpower, right? So if we drew the Three of Pentacles for this space, the Three of Pentacles is about partnerships and working well with other people. This could mean that it's going to be a challenge for you to work well with other people. You're going to have to really grit your teeth on a project and try to go through it as best you can. If you had a card like the Page of Cups, which is about innocence, then this would speak of innocent determination and positive forward momentum. Pages are like freshmen. So if we had the Star card here, you're determined to find that good spot. You're determined to find hope. Um, okay, nothing there. All right. Our next space deals with courage. This is the Strength card. Um, the Strength card embodies courage, inner strength, and resilience. So when we get a card like the Six of Swords, which is about moving forward to a better frame of mind, we see that it's going to take courage to do that. This may mean leaving a difficult situation. If we see the Chariot card here with courage, if there's somewhere you've been scared to go, um, try to work up the courage to address it, whether physically, mentally, emotionally, or spiritually. If we had the Six of Cups, which is about looking backwards, this could be about psychology, seeing a psychiatrist, having the courage to do that shadow work. Um, okay, still nothing. All right. Next up, we have um, the Hermit. And the key word for this is solitude. So, what do you work best at alone? Where is your solitude? What happens when you're alone? So I'm going to pull a couple cards. Let's say we have the High Priestess. In solitude, you like to follow spiritual matters. You want to um, study magic or psychic abilities. If you had a card like the Nine of Cups, which is about material happiness and enjoying what you have, then when you're alone, what you really enjoy doing is maybe having a glass of wine and watching Netflix. If you had the Hierophant, you might enjoy studying when you're alone. So the person you're reading for may lean in that direction. Thanks, Joey. I appreciate that. She said these keywords are helpful. It's a great spread. It really is. Um, and it's deep too. We're only a itty bitty way through it. This is a project very dear to my heart. So, Destiny is the 10th spot. This is the spot reserved for the Wheel of Fortune. So if we pulled a card like the Page of Wands, the destiny is to study um, something passionate. Follow your passions. If your destiny is to be an artist, maybe to create. The Page of Wands is about creating new things. It is freshman, remember? All right, so if we had the Magician card, your destiny might be as a magician, as a witch, as a magic user, as somebody who puts different components together, as an assembler, as somebody who is an orator. Um, the single card, single meaning, single word meanings really help me out with my spread. If we had the death card here, your destiny is to bring change wherever you go. All right. Some of us just can't get away from destiny. We've run, we've tried. It doesn't work that way. Um, I'd love this spread on an altar cloth. Can you show the card being highlighted? Um, I foresee a trade in our future. Uh, what you see is the graphics I have, unfortunately. But let's do this. Let's go back. All right, so the Justice card. The Justice card brings balance. Okay, so if we pull a card like the Star card, um, the Star card is about direction. So you may need to find something new to regain your balance. It may be time to set your sights on a new goal. Um, and in order to do that, we need to extricate ourselves from where we were. So it could mean get the hell out of where you're at, Bubba. Say we drew the Strength card here. finding that balance may be difficult for a lot of people. It's not easy finding balance, so it takes courage. The Strength card again deals with courage, inner strength, and resilience. So you may have to be resilient to find your balance. If we had the Four of Swords, which is a card of finding balance, then you're either in the process of balancing your life, or you've reached the point when you've had enough and you're putting your foot down. Um, our next card is the Hanged Man. The key word for this is sacrifice. What sacrifice is your querent performing, or what sacrifice do they need to do? Say we pulled the Knight of Swords. Um, the sacrifice may be of a military nature. Um, the sacrifice. I live in a military town, so when this card comes up in this space, it's usually for somebody who is from the base nearby. We have the Chariot. The sacrifice may mean moving to a new location. If you have the Chariot is also about emotional balance. So the sacrifice may be a little bit of your emotional balance and well-being to pursue a difficult position. Um, if we have the Three of Swords, which is about pain, then this is saying a painful sacrifice may need to be made, or a sacrifice you make is going to be very painful, or the sacrifice that you made, you're going to need to regain your balance from. Um, if we go on to our next card, let me check the chat. Yeah, that's exactly right, Jen. You're getting it. The Chariot in the number one spot would be manifesting a vehicle. That is exactly right. You were talking the right language, sis. All right. So if we went on to our next space, now we've got the space reserved for the Death card, and this is about transformation, right? So let's pull a card. What may need to be changed in our lives if we draw the Eight of Swords? Our outlook on our situation may need to change. The Eight of Swords um, is a lie card. It's saying you're trapped when you're really not. So you may need to have the courage to free yourself from the oppressive bonds around you. If we drew not you, I read your hurricane, you too. If we had the King of Cups here, the King of Cups is somebody who is intelligent and spiritual. It is also a goal card. The King of Cups is what we should aspire to be, somebody who balances the mental and emotional sides of themselves. So, what may need to change is our entire self, right? So, next up, we have space number 14, which is reserved for temperance. This is about healing. So I'm going to use the same cards we've been using just to show you how they relate in different positions. So where's that one? That one. And I was looking for the Three of Swords because I want to give you different outlooks on way to handle pain, and this card. Can you hear me shuffling? I've got it against my shirt. Oh, well, I'm not going to waste everybody's time digging for it. I'm sure it'll pop up when I don't want it to. That's the way the Three of Swords works. Um, so say we had the Star card in the space of Temperance, which is the keyword healing. This is hope for healing. Somebody may have just found out that they have new insurance, or the kidney they were waiting for may have just come in. The healing aspect is hope, 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 hope. Then we've got the Chariot, which is about forward momentum and moving. If we have that here for healing, we may need to change our situation to have the healing we want. That may mean moving. If we're seeing a psychiatrist or a counselor or a psychologist to better understand our feelings, that is the Chariot here. So we may need, that could also be read literally. You may have to travel to a specific location to find the healing you want. Say you had the Knight of Swords here. If we had the Knight of Swords in healing, the Knight of Swords does not stop. You cannot fucking stop that. Oh yeah, I'm foul mouth, everybody. You cannot stop the Knight of Swords. So this could be advocating for yourself, being your own advocate at the doctor's office. When I needed brain surgery, I kept telling them I was sick, that I was not feeling right, and I wasn't getting anywhere. But I kept pushing and pushing and pushing until I finally had somebody listen to me. And it turns out I had a brain lesion. Um, so yeah, I took great joy in going back and saying, "Ha ha, told you." Um, if we had the Eight of Swords, the lie card here, we may need to free ourselves from a certain lie in order for that healing to happen. Let me check the chat real quick. All right, and if we move on to the next card, we have space number 15, which is the devil. This is illusion. It's really funny that this card came up right now because my husband just peeked his head in the door and he's a Capricorn. Capricorn is a sign associated with the devil. So illusion. Let's talk about illusion. If you drew the Eight of Swords here, there's a definite need to be freed from a specific lie. Um, this is also reassurance that the pressure you're under is an illusion. It's not real. You're putting undue stress upon yourself. If we have the Knight of Swords here, um, the Knight of Swords breaks illusions. He uses his mind, and you can't stop him. He's just forward momentum, right? So this is thinking your way through the problem you're in. You'll be able to see where the problem lies. If we have the Chariot card here in illusion, you might be under the illusion that you're going to move. You might be under the illusion that the job you had, which you thought was coming through, may not be coming through. You may be under false expectations, false illusions here. Um, the momentum you thought you had on a project at work may not be there. This is a card of controlling your emotions. That may be an illusion. You may tell your friends, I'm fine, fine, I'm fine, I said. That's an illusion. If we had the Star card, the hope you're holding out for may be an illusion. It may not be realistic. Um, the Chariot just fell out of your deck. That's awesome. I love that. So our next space deals with the Tower. And the Tower's keyword is destruction. So let's talk about the Star card and destruction. The Star card is hope, inspiration, and renewal. That's in direct opposition to the Space, which is destruction. Now, they could even things out, so to speak, or this could be a precise cut, like a surgery. Precision may be in play here. Hope being dashed is only one of the meanings here. The Star card is inspiration, hope, and renewal. So, yeah, maybe that contract you were hoping to get renewed is not going to happen. With the Chariot is very forward momentum, remember. So you may be heading into a big space of trouble. Please re-examine your forward momentum. If we had the Knight of Swords there, I know the Knight and the Chariot are very similar in nature, but they're different enough to give you different approaches here. So the Knight of Swords is stubborn and pig-headed, which could lead to destruction. You standing by your morals, yeah, you may be speaking the truth, but you may have the right to speak the truth, but you also have the right to face those consequences. So that may come into play. If we had the the Eight of Swords is the lie card, the illusion that you're trapped when you're really not. So this could be the destruction of those lies and illusions. QQQ. If you got the death card in the tower space, does it mean literal death? That's a really good question, Al Crisp. That would honestly depend on the reader. I know readers who will not read death cards. They will not, well, not death cards. They won't read physical death. You'll hear people saying tarot doesn't read physical. Well, tarot can read physical death, but it's more so the psychic behind the cards, their ability to read the physical death. It can mean that if the psychic is feeling that. But please don't tell your client that. Rephrase it. Say, how's your health been? Um, I'm not saying there's a problem, but if you haven't had your blood work done in a while, if you haven't had a physical, it's probably a good idea just to get one anyway, which is common sense. Approach it in a safe manner. You never want to scare anybody or make any statements like you're gonna die. um I have read physical death on many occasions, and the very first time I read it freaked me out. I quit doing tarot professionally for several years. um, so yeah, there's that. Now, yeah, there are people who will say, "You're going to die." There's somebody in my frickin' town who does that, and I can't stand working events with her. Um, Joey says it would mean radical and unexpected change. Yeah. Um, N- Joey is my best friend, but you guys got to understand, Joey and I are different kinds of witches. um, she's more on the lighter side. I'm more on the darker side with chthonic deities, um, like Hecate and Santa Muerte. She's more fiery and lifelike on the lighter side. I love her. We balance each other so good, you guys, you wouldn't believe it. Um, yeah, Jan, no one should do that, but unfortunately, there are readers out there who do that. Joey summed it up for me the other day really well. I'm not a sideshow freak. I'm a healer. Um, I'm not here to make a buck. Yes, you work with the dark deities too, Mama. I know. Um, The difference is you visit. I live there. I'm just kidding. Um, what's that from? The Suicide Squad. You just a tourist. I live there. Um, our next card, and the single word is wishes, and this is the star card. I love the star card. It's about hope. It's the one thing you can't kill. Um, they even showed it on Sandman, and I was cheering when they did that part because you can't kill hope. If we had the 8 of swords here, this is hope that you will be freed from a confining situation, maybe an abusive situation, something that is definitely giving you mental anguish. Finding the hope to step out of those fake chains. If we had the Knight of Swords, if you have the wishes space with the Knight of Swords, then your wish is to go balls to the wall. Just live life loud. Um, Let me check what the chat said. Yeah, you do need to take something down to make room for something new. In Kabbalah, there's something called the Zimzum on how everything was created. Basically, space was breathed in, and a big space was created, and then space was breathed out, and the universe was there. Um, So if we had the chariot here, the wish may be for a certain vacation. The chariot is about movement. So your wish may be to get the fuck out of Dodge, um, to leave it all behind. That can go with the star card too, which is our next example card. The star card here, your wishes in wishes, that says your wishes are about to come true to me. Um, Where did I put my phone? Something just buzzed. All right. Shadows for number 18. Now we're looking at the moon. Okay. The moon is hidden, right? Illusions, dreams, and the subconscious. If we have the star card here, which is another form of illumination, a revelation may be about to come to light. Um, a last minute reprieve may come. Um, Something you dared not wish for may be about to happen. If you have the chariot card, you may be wanting to move in secret. You may feel the need to act quietly and circumspect. You may feel the need to run from an abusive relationship. Um, your secret desire may be to see somebody injured. Okay. Um, the shadows is where we don't want to look. So, what is it that your client is afraid to look at? If we have the Knight of Swords here, they may be under some bullshit belief that they're doing the right thing, and they're not. Look at half our country right now, thinks they're doing the right thing. They're not. They're tearing us apart, but they just don't see it. Um, I'm following the chitty chat. If we had the Eight of Swords, which is the lie card, the lie may be literal here. The Eight of Swords, you may be trapped in shadows. Um, you may be suffering, or your client, I should say, may be suffering. Ask them about it. And if they are in some form of abusive situation, never tell them to leave. What you do is say, there are places available to help you out. I can help you find the contact information you need. I will never tell another living soul. And you help them. You put a number in their hot little hands and you make sure they walk out of your door knowing that they have some form of hope and that they're not alone. All right. I've started putting helpline numbers in my descriptions. So um, I think I have the Trevor Project, Domestic Abuse Hotline, Suicide Prevention Hotline. Always have a list of numbers, especially if you are a professional reader. Um, I've run into domestic abuse on many occasions, and I cannot get in between somebody else's relationship like that. I can, however, make sure that whoever, male or female, because I was the victim of domestic abuse in the past too. I was also the abuser when I was on drugs. So um, I know that there are places that will help people. Let me see what chat is saying. Maybe have helpful numbers printed on the back of your card. No, no, because you need to. I'll give you a for instance. Yeah, that's one, Joey. It's there's too many to list, but the other reason is you want to move in secrecy with domestic abuse as much as possible. You don't want um any helpline numbers like that. Do it handwritten style. Um, because then you not only help them find the help you need, but you're keeping their secrets so that their partner doesn't see who the fuck gave you this. And if you don't think their partners go through their pockets, you're wrong. Um, these are women who are terrified. So we need that's why angel shots exist. That's why hand signals exist to help females in distress. So wait a second. I'm gonna pull this up real quick. So, angel shots. You guys know what angel shots are, right? Angel shots, when somebody goes to a bar and orders an angel shot, that means help me. If you hear somebody order an angel shot, they need help. My nieces taught me this one. Help them. This is a symbol saying they need help. And if they're doing it to the side, the person they're with is dangerous. So don't just confront them. Pull out your little phone, tippy tap the number 911 or whatever you have to do. Don't put yourself in the middle of shit. All right. But help them. Um, Jan, the only reason I knew about that is because I have a domestic history as a child in my family, and when I was on drugs, it was not pretty, the world I was living in. And that was back in the 90s, and I'm still dealing with the fallout from it. But tarot helped me. So let's get back to this. Where were we? We were at the moon, right? No. Well, wrong one. It's too far. That's a different class. That's what I get for stopping. Not this one. Wishes, shadows, no. Okay, here we go. Joy, the sun. Here we go. So, you know what I should have thought of doing is following the chat on my phone so I can see what the hell you people are talking about. Hold on. Hey, look, I'm live. Okay. Yeah, my dad used to beat the hell out of my mom and us. But And I think that's part of why when I was on drugs, I lived that lifestyle, and I craved men who were not good men. Um, Drugs will mess your life up. Now we've got the sun, which is about joy. So if we have the Eight of Swords here, the Eight of Swords is the lie card. The sun trumps everything in this space. The sun is about to obliterate the lies. The sun is shining its light on a lie. When we have the sun with the Knight of Swords, forward momentum. This could be a young man who or young woman who is very motivated, very um, studying legalities. It could be somebody who is a protector, such as an officer, a police officer, a fireman, first responder of some form, military. All of these guys are my heroes, guys and ladies, by the way. First responders are everything. They've saved my life on more than one occasion. um, the chariot. If we had the chariot in this spot, you are moving towards happier times. All right. You are rolling in the sun right now. So this is about gaining control of your emotions. So now is the time to act. Now is the time to seek out that counseling. Now is the time to take care of that trauma. Now is the time to shine the light on the shadow. And if you need to get professional help to do that, then do so. If we have the star card, now is the time to follow your joy. Good night, Selena. Love you. Um, yeah, follow your joy. So, next up, we have in the space of judgment. The key word for this is awakening. This is the holy shit moment. This is the oh my gosh moment. This is it. Um, when we have a card like the star here, quite literally, our prayers may be answered. A sudden realization has hit us, light is dawning on us, hope has come into our life. We're having an awakening to what is around us. This could be a very spiritual awakening. Um, the chariot, which is forward momentum. You may realize you need to be somewhere. You may need to be somewhere to take care of somebody. You may hear that your sister broke a leg and you need to travel across the country to take care of her. And you didn't want to do it, but suddenly you realize, oh, I need to be there. This may be a spiritual awakening. If we have the Knight of Swords, the Knight is all about brain power, right? This is explosive fire and air power. So, this may be the moment when we have that spiritual awakening, that aha moment. And if we have the Eight of Swords, which is the lie card, the trap card, and you have it in the awakening spot, you may be waking up from that lie, or awakening to the people around you are not good for you. Awakening to the fact that your way of thinking is just plain wrong. All right, that it's not working out the way you thought it would. And the last space we have on this is completion. All right, the world card. So if we have the Eight of Swords here, the Eight of Swords is the lie card, right? So what you thought was finished may not be finished. There may be loose ends you need to tie up. Um, if we have the Knight of Swords here for this space completion, if the town I'm in had this card come up here, the Knight of Swords, I would think their tour of duty is up, and they're about to be discharged from the military. Same thing with the Chariot card, completion. The end of your journey is in sight. For the military town I'm in, that could be a retirement. It could also be re-signing up, re-enlisting. Um, that completion you thought you were going to get, you may make the decision to keep going with something. And if we have the Star card, don't give up, boo boo. Hope is in sight. You got this. Um, so let me check the chitty chat. Yeah, now I'm trying to be there for people the way people weren't there for me, to keep people from making the same bad mistakes I did. Um, yeah. Um, so here's the thing. We now have these keywords for those 22 cards. Does anybody have any questions right now on that part? You're welcome, Joey. Because let's go up in my magical balloon. So now we've got this spread. Remember I said we were going to come back to these. So this is the physical world. This is what your client is dealing with right now. All right. And this requires you to have an understanding of what the first 7 cards are. All right. So I'm going to pull 7 cards. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. So in their physical world, I have, I'm going to put this off so everyone can see. I know, Joey. If we had that first line telling us the physical realm, and we had cards like the 6 of Cups, which is about looking backwards, the 8 of Cups, which is about knowing when to walk away. Pull your cards out, and if you have a card that falls like the Magician, so that space would be, here we go. So if we had the Magician, which is manifestation, they may be trying to manifest good memories. They may be trying to recapture their past. The next card falls, is the 8 of Cups. We're reading this across the line, not in the space. You can read it that way by all means, but I'm putting these cards together to create a sentence for that first line. So my sentence so far is them looking backwards, knowing that where they're at now isn't working for them, and they may need healing going forward. And I would break this down into creating a sentence out of the cards I pulled for them. Next up, we have the mental realm. So we're going to look at the cards that are here, and we're going to read them from left to right, from card space 8 to 14. Now you can read those individually, but for this way of looking at them, we're reading this as what is in their brain right now. So imagine these 7 cards, pardon me, are off to the side Um, what sentence do they make? That is what is in your client's head right now. And of course, their spiritual side is going to be cards 15 through 21. This deals with their beliefs, their spirituality. Take a look at what's there. Now, let me see. Hey, Black Bell, how you doing, love? Good to see you. Whoops. All right. Now, that's a cross, right? 1, 2, 3. But now let's read them up and down. So this first row right here, we're going to read chakra style. Okay, so these 3 cards are going to tell about how your client feels about being safe, about having their needs met. The root chakra deals with security. So the key word here is security. Yeah, Krista, that's all you can do, love. Um, just fuck around and find out, as Joey says. Um, the reason I love reading this 22 card spread is because I'm trying to teach it as a method for learning tarot as a starter. So next up, we have desires. This is your sacral chakra. The color of this one is orange. Um, this deals with what you want, not what you need. So, um, fuck around and find out, girlfriend. Um, so these 3 cards are now going to talk about how your client feels about their desires. Um, is it for a person? Is it for a project? Is it for sex? What is falling into this space? I love reading at least 3 cards because it helps triangulate everything. Our next set from 3 down is going to deal with identity. Your solar plexus chakra is the center of your universe. It is the center of your body. It is the little sun within us that powers us. Um, so this space, these 3 cards will tell you who your client thinks they are, how they view themselves, or how other people view them. Again, use your intuition. The key word for our next 3 cards is relationships. This is your heart chakra. Okay, so cards 4, 11, and 18, you're going to put them together to create a sentence to see how it applies to their relationships. And when we talk about relationships, we're talking the transpersonal heart, the one-on-one relationships, the me to you relationships. So you can on this one add the 0 card in. You could add the 0 card to all of them. I don't. Um, unless I'm absolutely called to and I feel it. Um, It's like their sunshine. Exactly, Jan. So, our next space. Oh, did I say everything I needed on the heart? Yeah, I did. Okay. Our next space deals with the throat chakra. Somebody who has their throat chakra blocked is in agony. This is somebody who is not free to speak on their own behalf or to speak their truth. They may be living in secret, they may be living a lie, they may be living in pain, but this is where what your client wants to communicate. What is the important thing for them to communicate? And if they can't communicate it to you or don't feel safe with you, because regardless of what you think, Bubba, you can be compelled in a court of law. You don't have doctor client privilege. Um, if they don't feel safe talking to you, that's safe. That's okay. Skirt around the issue. But help them if you can and know your fucking limits. Know your role. We are not doctors. We are not lawyers. We're healers. We're spiritual guides. But call in the pros when it needs it. If there's a crime involved, report it. Um, our goal is our client's well being. So, this is what they need to say. And you could tell them, you don't have to answer, nod. Okay. And just get them the help they need. That is the main thing. So would you just tell them what you want to know? Yeah, know your limits. I would use my intuition to gently prod, because remember, this is a victim here. If they're in pain like that, you don't want to distress a victim, and you don't want to make them feel like a victim. You want to make them feel empowered to make their own decisions. So here is where you find out what needs to be said by them, what kind of healing needs to be addressed, how will saying this affect their life. Okay, you got to remember there's fallout from our words after the fact. They go from our table and follow our advice. Well, you want to give them good advice. Let's just put it that way. Um, so our next space is our third eye space. These three cards are all about intuition. These three are going to tell you what your client thinks but can't prove. What is their insight telling them? What is that niggling voice in the back of their head? What is it that they want to say but can't say? These three cards are going to provide that answer for you. Say you had cards like the Seven of Cups, the Ten of Pentacles, and the Ten of Wands. So, in the space of 6, which is at the top, we've got the Seven of Cups. The next space down, the Ten of Pentacles. The next space below that, the Ten of Wands. So, intuition, the Seven of Cups is all about intuition. It's using your intuition to move forward, to make the right choice. Um, so this is saying that your client has a choice to make, and not to fully believe what people are telling them, but to hi Judith, how you doing, love? Not to fully believe what they're being told, but to examine things for themselves. You could also break it down. Top is mental, middle physical, and bottom spiritual. So the Seven of Cups at the top in the physical realm means they have a physical choice to make, an actual choice on something. The 10 in the second row, which is mental, means they're working towards a specific goal. The Ten of Pentacles is called the legacy card. They're working towards having something to leave behind. And the next card down, if we had the Ten of Wands in the spiritual space, the spiritual role, this is saying that they have a heavy burden on them right now. They're unable to fly freely because they're so focused on being there for everybody around them. And then our last row on this is the divine. This is our crown chakra. This is our connection to the universe. So these three cards are going to talk about that connection. So take those three cards and put them together and create a sentence. Um, how is your client communicating their needs to the universe? Um, are they enlightened? The crown chakra is all about our connection to the upper realms, to what we can't see. So this is the God spot, the G spot. Um, they may need to, depending on the cards you draw for them, take a second look at their spirituality. You never want to say somebody's wrong in their spiritual beliefs because nobody's ever wrong, and it's not your place to tell them that. Um, you can say things like, are you questioning things in your spirituality right now? If so, what kind of questions do you have? And if you can help them find those answers, find them. If you don't know those answers, say, you know what, I can try to look that up for you and get back with you and give you my take on it. Um, and just be there for them. All right. This is the space where I also read how we connect to um, people on a spiritual level, all right, to the world around us. So you could read the top one, the middle one, and the bottom one in that way also. So that's that. Now, I'm going to pull that off and put my pretty little face up. So, you guys, that is the beginning of the 22 card spread. And when I say beginning, I mean beginning because there are about 6 or 7 other modules to this. They're all designed to help you as somebody who reads cards or somebody who is trying to learn to read cards. This is, in my opinion, a good way to go about it. So I'm going to try to be more organized about this and get that information out there for you guys. Um, I also would like to hear your take on everything that we talked about today. The single word um, meanings, the single word spread. Um, I've been trying to do this for a couple months now, and it just keeps getting pushed to the side. Thanks, Hal Crisp. Um, yeah, I've Ramon made me realize that I've neglected certain aspects of what I was set out to do, and being a teacher on this is something very important to me. This is great. It's very comprehensive. I get it. I want everybody to get it. That's why I kept it to one word. All right. So, um, and you could check the words I chose are for those spaces, but this is a Bobby spread, so feel free to change the wording around to however it suits you best. But if by the end of this learning course, you should be able to read for about an hour and a half, 2 hours. Um, you can make a spread that'll last that long. Um, I've done it because we're going to look at many different ways to look at the same spread. And I'm very excited about it. I want to thank everybody who joined me for this. I love you. Um, so, yeah. You're a terrible student. Well, because I don't try to act like a teacher, I'm just sharing what I know. Um, and I want you guys to learn too. Because one day, Bobby may not be here, and I want all of you little gremlins out there to pick up the torch and be there for people picking up their cards for the first time. All right. But for now, it's all, and I'll see you guys next week. We'll do this again. Okay. Love you. Love you all. but I gotta go eat.